Welcome to our podcast, where we dive into how a moment of time wasting can actually be turned around into a burst of motivation.
I'm really excited about this topic. There's so much we often ignore about our daily productivity, right?
Absolutely. So, the main idea here is that in our fast-paced lives, we sometimes waste time, whether it's a few minutes here or an entire hour there.
Right.
What's interesting is how different people handle it. Some just shrug it off, while others get really frustrated about it.
Yeah, it's almost like we're wired differently. Some people, enjoy living in the moment, while others, obsess over every minute lost.
Exactly. And here's the kicker. It's not that wasting time itself is the problem, it's the fallout that comes when we start stressing over it. Like, you waste some time, then you overthink it, and then you end up wasting even more time worrying about what you should have done. It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah. So what do you think? Is the blog essentially saying that the real enemy is our own reaction to that wasted time?
Right on. It suggests that instead of getting bogged down by regret, which ironically is what keeps us stuck, we should take a more calculated approach. When you notice you've lost some time, pause and quickly figure out how much time is actually left in your day.
I
That
hear
way
that.
you can redirect your energy more productively.
So it's like hitting a mental reset button, isn't it? Instead of spiraling into frustration, you refocus on the tasks ahead.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when you set aside an hour for something important, but, end up using it unproductively. Instead of letting that blow your whole day, you recalibrate. You do a quick mental rundown. Okay, I lost an hour, but there's still X hours left. And then you use that remaining
Yep.
time intentionally.
But isn't there a risk that this recalculation might make you rush your work? I mean, if you're constantly feeling the need to catch up?
That's a valid point. The blog does warn us against the pitfall of hurrying too much. It emphasizes that while you want to get back on track quickly, you shouldn't compromise the quality of your work by speeding through it.
Yeah, indeed.
It's about balancing speed with focus.
I like that balanced approach. It's almost like saying, don't beat yourself up, but also don't break your stride.
Exactly. And there's an interesting breakdown of how different mindsets deal with time wasting. Some people, for example, don't even really pay attention when they waste time. They just move on. Others might get so frustrated that they end up taking that frustration out on themselves, or even on people around them.
Right,
Then there
exactly.
are those who have enough self-control to let it slide for a while, and then snap back into productivity.
It's almost like we have a spectrum of reactions, a sort of time-waste psychology, if you will. I mean, who knew that being unproductive sometimes could lead to different emotional outcomes?
Precisely. And the approach that's really highlighted here is a kind of calculation approach. As soon as you realize you've wasted time, be it 15 minutes or an hour, you mentally subtract that from the total time and then focus on what you can still achieve today.
Yeah, I like that.
It shifts the focus from self-blame to objective recalibration.
That makes sense. Instead of mulling over lost time, you just say, okay, I've got X minutes left to reach my goal, and then you get to work. It's like reassigning your mental resources.
Right? And that can be an immediate source of motivation.
Exactly.
Think of it as turning a setback into a small victory by just managing your perspective.
But, isn't there a risk that if you do this over and over, you may end up constantly feeling like you're chasing a reset? Almost like you're always in recovery mode?
That's a fair challenge. While this approach is a neat trick to overcome the stagnation that comes from regret, it might not address deeper issues like persistent procrastination or chronic distraction. Still, as a tactical method for everyday slip-ups, it's pretty effective.
I
It's
see
a
your
quick
point.
fix rather than a long-term solution, perhaps.
I agree. There's a subtle difference between handling a one-off incident and addressing a recurring habit. But for those daily blips, recalculating your remaining time could really prevent the negative cascade we often see.
Absolutely. And what's really encouraging about this method is that by applying it once and even sharing it with others, you reinforce your own discipline and create, a positive feedback loop for productivity.
Right,
It becomes a
that's so
collective
true.
reminder that a setback isn't a full stop. It's just a comma in your day.
That's a great analogy. A comma, not a period. And thinking about it, This strategy could help lessen the overall stress we feel about our day. Instead of being paralyzed by regret, you turn that moment into a commitment to move forward.
Exactly. And interestingly, the blog underscores that the issue isn't the time wasted itself, but the subsequent overthinking and frustration that ends up derailing the rest of our day.
Absolutely.
When we start blaming ourselves, it just triggers more wasted time.
That really resonates with me. I mean, overthinking can be such a productivity killer. It's like you're so preoccupied with what went wrong that you lose sight of what you can still do.
Yes, and this calculated approach helps us to snap out of that cycle. It directs our attention back to our remaining opportunities, instead of fixating on past losses. It's a shift from a regret mindset to one of proactive management.
And that's a refreshing take, because too often, self-help advice just tells you to think positive without giving you a method to do so.
Exactly. The blog intentionally moves away from that guilt-tripping idea. Instead, it offers a concrete step. Do a quick mental audit of your day, then focus your energy on reaching your goals without rushing. It's practical and grounded.
I appreciate that nuance. Sometimes, stressing over every wasted minute just leads to more mistakes. By reframing the narrative, you actually create a more sustainable routine.
Absolutely. Plus, the message is super empowering. It tells you that even if you slip up, there's always still time to turn things around.
Right, exactly.
You're not doomed by one wasted hour.
And, by not overcompensating too hard and compromising quality, you keep a healthy balance between speed and the excellence of your work.
You hit the nail on the head. It's all about recalibration, not reckless acceleration. You want to be productive without letting setbacks turn into a self-fulfilling prophecy of inefficiency.
Very true.
It's a mental strategy that can benefit anyone, regardless of their daily schedule.
When I think about it, this approach feels like it's equally applicable in both personal and professional settings. You encounter minor derailments everywhere. Whether you're working on a project or just managing your day, a small pause to reassess your time can be a game changer.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a little mantra. I may have lost some time, but I've still got plenty left to win the day. That can really lift your spirits and keep you going.
Definitely.
It transforms a negative into a positive reminder.
It's a very encouraging outlook. And, when you share this idea with others, it creates an environment where mistakes are seen as learning opportunities rather than failures.
Right. It fosters a culture where every setback is simply a setup for a comeback. So next time you feel the weight of wasted time, just count your remaining minutes and get back to what really matters.
Yeah, that's powerful.
It's all about taking control of your narrative.
I really appreciate this perspective. It's refreshing to think of time management this way, not as a punishment for mistakes, but as a dynamic tool in your day-to-day life.
So true. And if we all start adopting this mindset, imagine the ripple effect in our productivity, stress levels, and overall motivation.
Absolutely, yeah.
Small wins can lead to big transformations.
This conversation has definitely given me some fresh ideas on handling those frustrated moments after a mishap. It's like, instead of battling regret, you just channel that energy to fuel your next step.
Exactly. And that's the key takeaway. Don't regret over your missteps. Instead, reframe them as part of a larger strategy to stay motivated and keep moving forward.
Very inspiring
Every minute
indeed.
still holds potential.
Well said. I'm going to try this out next time I feel stuck. It's a simple yet effective method to reclaim your day.
And that's our call to action. Next time you feel that sting of lost time, just pause, calculate your remaining time, and re-engage with your goals. It's a liberating way to look at productivity.
Cheers to reclaiming our time and turning every setback into a stepping stone for success.
Thanks for this engaging exchange. Remember, no matter how much time you feel is wasted, there's always enough left to make a real difference. Until next time, keep that motivation high and those goals in sight.